Peace and blessings to you all. It is a delight and an honor to have this opportunity to address and to stand before you. I am so grateful for the work of IMAN and the great, amazing leadership of this organization. It is powerful, it is life transforming, and I am honored to have a connection with this incredible organization with my brother and my friend, Dr. Rami. We love to talk about justice and hip-hop together and all that is happening in the community, and I thank him for his leadership and for his friendship and for the incredible work that is happening here. And I also am so glad we have some members of Trinity United Church of Christ who are with us tonight, and they will be up early in the morning at church in the morning. Amen, 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 amen. But so good to see you all. We're so glad that Morris and Adrian, his wife, are with us tonight. If they look familiar, if she looks familiar, you may have seen her on one of the local commercials, Crestor, or if you watch Showtime and you watch the show Shameless, she plays the nun on Shameless. And so we are just delighted that they are here tonight. And when Dr. Rami asked me to be here just to give some remarks, and I began to reflect on not only the work of IMAN, but all of the things that are happening in our country, I think it is apropos that this particular theme, the journey of justice and the journey that continues toward justice, speaks so eloquently of where we are as a country and as a people. There is a great writer and teacher by the name of Howard Thurman. Howard Thurman was a teacher of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., wrote a powerful book entitled Jesus and the Disinherited. But he was also one who listened to many voices. And there was a woman by the name of Olive Schreiner. Olive Schreiner was an anti-apartheid activist before anti-apartheid had really been focused and framed in South Africa. She was a feminist before the word feminism had been created. And she wrote a book called The Story of the African Farm. And along with several of other writings, she wrote particular short stories speaking about how people not only connect with nature, but understand their relationship with God. She tells one story of a child who is staring at a river. And as this child stares at a river, the child notices that there are some locusts attempting to cross a small little area of the river that has become a stream. One locust tries to cross and is swept away by the current. Another comes and is swept away by the current. But eventually, other locusts come and they build a bridge to the other side. And this young girl raises a question to the elders and says, I watched all of these locusts. They built a bridge to the other side. But what of the first that went down to the river? And an elder said to this young girl, well, there are always people who make a track to the river's edge. They are swept away by the currents of history, but there would be no bridge to the other side if it had not been for those who built a bridge to track to the river's edge. And we are in this space today because there are those who've been swept away by the currents of history who made a track to the river's edge. And what IMAN does in such a powerful way is to recognize the footprints of those who went before us in order to pass the baton to the next generation. And what is so powerful and wonderful about this organization is that it speaks to this interfaith alliance that works not only in Chicago, but is the bedrock of an emerging democracy of a yet-to-be United States, in the words of W.E.B. Du Bois. And I would even say that there was, I believe in 1788, there was an organization similar to IMAN. In 1788, as I began to reflect, Rami, I realized that I missed a portion of history of an alliance between people who operate out of the beautiful and powerful faith of Islam and those displaced Africans had already in 1788 built an alliance together to throw off the shackles of enslavement in the antebellum South. This is forgotten history for many of us. I was in Savannah, Georgia, go every year, and the first time I went there, I went to visit a church known as First African Baptist Church. And they gave me a tour of First African. And as I was going on this tour, this elder deacon says, I want to show you the original benches of this church. The original benches were built by displaced Africans, but it has the names of the Africans who made the benches. This is considered to be one of the oldest churches in America that is built by people of African descent. He says, now look under the bench. And what you will notice is you will see names in Arabic. It's these people who are displaced Africans who pointed toward the east, praying to Allah, they helped build the benches of the first African Baptist church. But it was not just a church. It was also the first stop of the Underground Railroad. That when you look in the church, you will find Islamic architecture all around. And those who were not in the know, they just thought that the architecture was just something cute and nice. But the architecture was speaking to Africans to say that this is a safe place for you. In 1788, Africans were coming together with people who were operating within the Islamic faith, and they were building a citadel of hope. As a matter of fact, if you walk through that place today, you will walk through the church and you will notice as you walk along these the wooden floors, you will notice that there are holes in the floors. And those holes in the floors that someone who's not in the know will say they messed up when they were designing some things. But the holes in the floor were really air holes and listening holes. So when the slave master came through, then you would go down into the hold so that you could breathe and listen until he left. And then you could then be ushered to freedom from Savannah all the way up north. In 1788, a forgotten piece of history that people of different backgrounds coming together, recognizing that God did not intend for us to be chattel, but we are to be full human beings. And in this age where we may be trumped, we need to build the same coalition once again to make sure that we come together and build citadels of hope and freedom, that we stand with our brothers and our sisters when America attempts to marginalize us. It is Langston Hughes who, in that beautiful poem about America, he says, America was never America to me. Oh, let America be America again, the Lord, the land that has never been, yet should be, and yet must be. Who made America? Whose sweat and whose blood, whose hand put their hand upon the plow, but those who were marginalized and placed upon the corners of society. Who made America but you and me? Stop trying to act like that you did it all by yourself. It had not been the hands of Africans and immigrants and those who had been marginalized. America would not be America. So when you say make America great again, what question are you saying? What year were you really talking about? Because when I think about America, it is not America must be great again. It is a part of those who have been marginalized, those who come to this country and recognize that we do not have all that's been promised by the founding fathers. We must build a new America. And as you hear the sound of the horn tonight, I want to let you know something, that this sound and this music speaks so powerfully of how we organize and build a new America. I say that we must build an America that has a jazz flavor and a jazz democratic power. Why would I say jazz? Because that's the only music that's truly been created in America. Because when jazz came together in New Orleans in a place called the Congo Square, it was bringing together people who were African and those who were Native American, along with German and Spanish, and those who came out of the Islamic tradition. And on Sundays and Saturdays and on Fridays, they came up with a new sound that America had never heard. Jazz is a music of democracy. Jazz speaks to the possibility of what the human being can be. Because jazz is the only music that allows everybody to solo. No matter what position or tradition you come from, everybody has the right to bring something to the table. And I want to say that we need to bring a jazz ethic back to America, where everybody has the right to solo, where everybody has the right to bring something to the table, where we have Muslims standing next to Methodists and undocumented workers standing next to those who are documented, where you have the Sunni next to the Pentecostal and the Pentecostal next to the Sufi and the Sufi next to the Shiite. And when we stand together, we will have a beloved community, a jazz ethic, a jazz narrative. I must bid you good night, but let us play some jazz together and build an America that is yet to be.